Hello and welcome to another Let's Pose. Today I'm going to be showing you how to pose the Mafex Tiger Stripe Wolverine. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what figures you'd like me to show you how to pose next. And of course, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video and want more toy related content. And of course, make sure to follow us over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Modern Toy Fair. But that's enough chitter chatter. Let's go ahead and get at her. Okay, first up, as always, you want to make sure you're familiar with how your figure is articulated. So go through, figure out which way the joints move, where the kind of stopping points are, if there's any tight joints that need heated up, if there's anything loose that might get in the way. Just, make sure that you're familiar with how it works so you don't accidentally break anything, especially when you work with Mafex figures. They're very expensive and very hard to find replacements. So with Wolverine, the big thing you're going to notice is he's kind of short, he's bulky, he's always in these kind of more grounded stances. Legs are always kind of sprawled out and bent, arms are usually kind of arched back, those claws out like he's ready to go. You'll notice even like his stomach and stuff is always kind of crunched forward. He's always kind of ready to pounce. From there, let's go and do some generic poses you could put on your shelf. So say you want that iconic claws in an X pose. So you kind of lean him forward. You bring both of arms forward with those butterfly joints. Kind of bring him down a little bit so you can still see his face. Get the knees a little more bent. And there you go. So if you want him just on your shelf with the claws in that X pose, you just got to bring the arms forward enough, bend the elbows to get him just right, and make sure that you can still see his face. So it's not like he's playing peekaboo with you. And there you can actually do, if you remember the old animated series intro where he spreads his claws out and the lightning goes everywhere, you can kind of transition from this pose pretty easily. You just arch the back the opposite direction, maybe spread his legs out a little bit, and now you've got him kind of in a rage mode where he's screaming at the sky. You've got the back arched a little more, the arms are pushed back instead of forward. And it just it's another great pose. You could, again, you could have it on your shelf. You could have it when you're taking pictures, whatever you want. Let's get him in more of a vanilla stance now. Because Wolverine, while he is mostly this feral savage, guy, this feral savage Canadian, he also, occasionally just likes to walk around. He's not always fighting. He spends a lot of time at the bar, spends time just kind of laying in bed staring at photos of Jean and Cyclops. So we've got some different accessories here we're going to use, and we're going to swap some things out. Also, big shout out to Podong on Instagram for painting the the brown suit Wolverine's claws blue for me, so that way I can have these cooler claws instead of the long straight ones. So let's start with this kind of relaxed hand on one side. We'll take one of these fists for the left side. And then we're going to get that unmasked look here as well. There we go. Pop that off. Straighten his neck out because for some reason that got all wonky. And then we're going to put the unmasked head on, but we're going to put this little folded down mask to kind of give it that full aesthetic. One thing I love about Mafex is that they do that. And then pop that on. Well, if it wants to. I really hate this head because the hair, for whatever reason, gets in the way, on the back of the neck. There we go. Okay, so you're going to have the head kind of tilted. You're going to have the legs just far enough apart that it kind of holds him up and it doesn't look like he's in almost like a dancing pose. He's very relaxed, kind of shoulders are down, not in any sort of a tension. You've got the back straight and maybe a little bit leaned back just for the kind of relaxed look. But you know what? Wolverine likes to have a drink or two, so let's get a drink in that hand. And now he's really living that aesthetic of what Wolverine relaxed would look like. He's just standing there, holding his beer, having a good time. And if you want to go a step further and have him, chugging one down, you can kind of finagle it. It is a little difficult because the head, unless you take the head off and twist the actual joint in there, You can only get so far back, especially with that hair, and also just finagling the way it works. But it's definitely a fun thing you can do. That specific bottle is from the SH Figure Arts set for the eating Goku eating set. So if you're looking for some cool stuff like that, accessories, definitely go there for that, especially at this scale, because some of the other companies, their stuff might not scale quite the same way. You can usually fake it, but if you want something that's like going to be closer, Figure Arts is your best bet. And a lot of Japanese import stuff as well. All right, so let's do. You know what? I'm a big Marvel vs. Capcom fan. Wolverine poses from that are very loved. So let's get this arm arched back a little bit and bent. We'll get this other arm forward, like come and get me. Get the knees kind of in an attack pose or in like a fighting stance pose. You got the stomach kind of twisted there. You've got the legs very close to the ground, center of gravity. Arms kind of turned just enough. And we're going to put this arm a little bit further back on top of that. So just a really good fighting stance that you can get him in. So if you have the X-Men lined up ready to go to battle, that's a really good one as well. Let's do, when he first enters the fight in Marvel vs. Capcom, he's got his arms in an X and he's kind of like screaming at the sky. So let's see if we can replicate that a little bit. So you get the knees more spread out, more arched back. Gotta get them ankles kind of at a tilt. And then you can just kind of lean him back like so. Another one is the Berserker Barrage pose, where he's in the air with his claws going everywhere. So that one, you put his arms almost in like a dancing pose, and you get the knees bent and kind of more upward. Get the ab crunch kind of tilted to the side. Let me see if I can get him all wired up here. Again, if you're using these craft wires, be careful because they are aluminum and they 100% can and will scratch your figures, and you don't want to have any mishaps. So let's see here. Get that other knee bent. So the back knee needs to be kind of more towards the ground, and the front knee needs to be more outward. Arms, again, in that kind of almost like dancing salsa pose. You get this wire bent so you can see a little better. Come on, straighten that out. There we go. There, and you see the right arm is kind of pulled forward with the shoulder, like it's slashing more frontwards. And then let's transition from there to, the Speedball special. Wolverine likes to have the larger X-Men throw him, Beast, Colossus, you name it. So that way he can be launched at like the Sentinels or other enemies. And that one's easy to do. You just kind of put the arms in this like U shape to get that kind of, he's going to, stab it as he lands. The knees are back, but a little bit bent just because he's kind of shorter, so he's not going to have that same aerodynamics stance, and he's also more of a brawler. He's not very agile. And now he looks like he's being chucked at something. So more poses that you can put him in. Just, things to give you ideas when you're either taking pictures or if you want a cool display on your shelf. Like behind me right now, I've got that Sentinel set up with all my X-Men fighting it. So I could, if I had a Beast or Colossus, I could have them being chucked at him. Another pose that's, big with Wolverine is that kind of feral, hunched down, but still kind of relaxed, almost like he's done with the fight and he's kind of exhausted pose. So you bring the shoulders forward, arms kind of still a little bit of a bend, but they're still downward. You've got the, midsection hunched forward, the neck kind of upward and facing forward as well. The legs, again, kind of sprawled out for that center of gravity. And you see one knee's bent a little more than the other. You can also, if you just want him to be like at the end of the fight and exhausted, you can move the head kind of down like he's looking at the ground, just like he's trying to huff and puff, catch his breath, just had a real rough one. From there, we're going to do a like slashing pose, like an action fighting pose. So if you have him fighting Sabretooth, or, maybe he's on the Sentinel's shoulder taking a chunk out of its head, you want to get this leg kind of more straightened out and twisted a little bit. And then the other one's going to be a little more bent. You're going to have the right leg a little bit further back just to get that kind of torqued motion. Midsection needs to be twisted. The left arm all the way back. The right arm, you can see I have pulled all the way forward just to get that full rotation look. And again, you twist the abs as well, and the legs are kind of a part of that. And then the left arm's just pulled all the way back, so that way you know he's ready to swing the other way once he's done with that hit. Trying to think what else we can do. I guess we could do like just some generic poses again, just something simple. I think we're gonna be about done here. Uh, yeah, well, let's get him into just a simple stance, and then we'll close things out. Just because, God, I love the little rotator cuff things they have, but they don't always stay in perfectly placed, and you have to fight with them, especially on characters that have line work on their shoulders. You break up that beautiful aesthetic sometimes. So, all right, so we're just in a generic pose. Nothing too special. But that's going to be it for this Let's Pose. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what figures you would like me to show you how to pose next. If there's a specific line, specific characters, you name it, let me know. If I have it or have access to get it, I will. Also, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want more toy-related content in your feed. And go and check us out Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Modern Toy Fair. And don't forget to check us out live Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/Modern Toy Fair for our weekly Only Figs show, where we show off our weekly purchases live and chat with everybody who shows up. You can watch the recap of it here on YouTube as well, but you don't get to chat with us. So if you ever want to come hang out and just talk about toys or ask any questions, that's where you want to do it. But other than that, that's be it for this video. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.